What's going on, everybody? It's Atomic Wolf here with another Bioshock video. And before I get into this, I really do appreciate the feedback I got for 12 Days to Midnight, the 2-hour Bioshock audio drama. And I'm really glad you guys liked it. And I really hope you guys give it a share and a like. Because if you haven't seen it yet, if you are listening to this and you haven't seen it yet, go to my channel and look at 12 Days to Midnight. It took a ton of time and effort and talent to make, and I'm really proud of all my voice actors. And I really can't thank Miss Grace Mutton a lot for drawing the artwork for it. It was a great thing. And as you can tell, making a 2-hour show based in Bioshock really proves that I love Bioshock, and that's what this video is going to be about. And in fact, this video is going to be about an idea I had for Bioshock, whatever this new title might be, might or might not be, if we return to Rapture in the next Bioshock title. So I've actually humored this idea on Instagram before, and I've got just about a 99% approval rating from everybody when I gave this idea out. But, you know, it's going to sound weird, it's going to sound different from anything you've heard from a Bioshock game before, but just hear me out on this. So, let's say it's 1946. Andrew Ryan has just completed Rapture, everything's setting up, all the buildings aren't totally there yet, but in due time, and well, let's say you've been invited to the city. You got a personal invitation from Andrew Ryan to come down into his shining jewel, and you are going to live there for the rest of your life, and you are content with that. But before you get to come down into the city, you have to choose not only what your character looks like, but what your character does. Is he a scientist? Is he a working man? Is he a philosopher? Is he or she what Andrew Ryan wants in their city? Are you going to enter illegally? Are you going to join Fontaine's crew and come down into the city without a permit? Are you going to be a good guy, a bad guy? Are you going to be someone who can be trusted? You get the picture pretty much here. This is the beginning of an RPG game. But can we imagine an RPG with Bioshock elements, aka a RPG with shooter elements? Well, absolutely. We played Fallout, we played a lot of things. You know, Far Cry isn't exactly an RPG, but I mean, it's open world and you got guns and you can make relationships. But here's the thing. The idea generally is to come down into the city choosing a multitude of different professions, of different classes, what have you, and actually join the city from its construction in 1946 all the way to even after the city falls. So imagine what you can do down in that city. You could meet people, you can mingle, you can make friends, you can make enemies. You can make enemies with Atlas or Fontaine or Ryan or different people, different major characters. Perhaps you can be a performer in Fort Frolic. Perhaps you could be just some fish packer in Neptune's Bounty, or you could be a socialite and be rich and have a lot of money and meet a lot of people, and perhaps you could even spy. I mean, just think of all of the possibilities you could do down in Rapture. Just imagine all the possibilities that are available in Rapture during its heyday, because we've all seen it during the fall and what it used to be, but it also makes me wonder if there's a possibility that there could be a full-fledged Bioshock game under the sea before the fall. And I just thought that would be interesting, because not only could you choose your character, but you could also come down and replay as different characters from different social classes. So you could be a fish packer on one, per se. You come down, you meet Fontaine from the early on, and you see his crooked dealings and how he develops as a villain, and you can choose to join Fontaine if you want. You can carry out dirty deeds for him, you can go and cause these crazy shootouts and, you know, pretty much build up a relationship with Fontaine's faction, or I guess as the story develops, which will later become Atlas's faction, and you can join Atlas, or vice versa. Perhaps you could be this rich person, or this person who is very much into Ryan's philosophy and his ideals, and you can come down and you can join him and you can fight on his side as opposed to Fontaine or Atlas. You could come down and you can do Ryan's, I guess you could say dirty work, or you can do Ryan's legal work, and you can do an equal amount of combat as Ryan's man. Or perhaps you could stay absolutely neutral in the entire endeavor and just sort of be your own faction, join your own people, and just see how the war between Fontaine or Atlas and Ryan goes down as the story continues. And of course, when Plasmids and Adam gets brought into the city, you could splice. You can splice all you want, or you can, you have to make some sort of income, I'm sure, but you can spend your money, your in-game money on Adam, and you can splice up. And of course, this being a RPG type of format, your character can start to deteriorate in both mindset and appearance as you splice. So light splicing, barely splicing, you'll be okay. But if you heavily splice and become a full-fledged splicer, you begin to see your character, say in the mirror or something like that, and you see him or her just absolutely torn up from the floor up, and or perhaps if you have friends that you've made within the game, they begin to comment on your appearance, like, oh, you're looking very different, or you don't look so good, or you look like you've been splicing, things like that. And my only issue with this idea is the fact that this would totally, in a way, deviate from what Bioshock is known for. It's known for being a shooter. It's known for a good amount of action. There's action at every corner, really, no matter which Bioshock you play, because it could be the survival horror of Bioshock 1 or just the in-your-face combat of Bioshock Infinite. It's going to be a different story with my idea, but I still think as a diehard Bioshock fan, I would totally be for this. And I was actually wondering what you guys thought of this. You come down as anybody you want, really, and you can play out the story in so many different ways. I mean, you can meet Sophia Lamb, you can go down and mingle with Tenenbaum, you can go down and mingle with Suchong, you could work for them. Just anything is possible in the city while it's alive. Now, the second portion of the game, which I thought would be interesting, would be after the fall. So, of course, there's going to be a huge buildup for 1959, and whatever happened, there's going to be a huge, huge mission, whatever it is, a huge quest. And after that quest ends, you can play after the fall and sort of have a Bioshock 1 vibe to it, Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2 vibe to it. And you can play after the city has gone crazy. Everything is absolutely in chaos and shambles, and even you can play after that, and sometime after the fact, that would be where perhaps the game ends and you can play as someone else from the beginning to the end as a different person of a different profession. Again, it would be a huge replay factor because not only would you be able to play such a big game, you would also replay as someone completely new from a different social class. Again, you could be a scientist, a doctor, a nobody. You could be just like somebody as simple as a taxi driver and you get invited down to Rapture, just anything like that. And though I'm pretty sure it will never happen, that was my idea for Rapture if we return to it in whatever new Bioshock game comes along in the future. I doubt we will see Rapture again. I doubt we will see Columbia again. But I do think that it would be a cool thing if we do get to see the original city of Rapture once again. Columbia, I don't care much about. In fact, if I know my lore correctly, Elizabeth and Booker actually took it away from existence, so it wouldn't, I don't know. the whole multiverse in Bioshock just boggled my mind, and that I will save that for a separate video. But besides that, I hope you liked my idea, and I hope you heard it out. Thank you for doing so, and I will bring you guys regular updates on whatever new comes out of this possible, and I will say again, possible new Bioshock title. But again, let me know in the comments what you think of my idea, and what is your idea if we return to Rapture. It does work with a specific timeline. It is somewhat of an open world. It's an open city, but it still has to move with a certain timeline. So where would you squeeze in a new game if we were put back into the Rapture timeline? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. And remember, a man chooses, a slave obeys.